Are you on track with your money? Let's break it down decade by decade. All right, we're going to give you the net worth and savings goals for your 20s, 30s, and 40s so you can finally see exactly where you stand. Hi, I'm Emily, your big sister in finance and the founder of Sora, where we make personal finance clear, relatable, and actually useful for us figuring out life and money together. So if this is something you're into, then hit the follow button and keep watching. Welcome to Sora. All right, so what if I told you that a huge number of American households have no dedicated retirement savings at all? We're not talking a little, we're talking zero. And it gets worse. A recent report found that a shocking 59% of Americans don't have enough cash on hand to cover a simple $1,000 emergency. But here's the thing, building wealth isn't some secret code reserved for the ultra rich. It's about hitting the right financial milestones at the right time. So, we're not just going to break it down the milestones today, but actually walk you through how to get there. Your 20s are a whirlwind. You're launching a career, figuring out how to adult, and probably juggling more expenses than ever before. During this decade, it's easy to feel like net worth is something you can worry about later. In fact, with student loans, you might even have a negative net worth, and that's okay. The goal here isn't perfection, it's about laying a strong foundation. So, what does that strong foundation look like? All right, let's start with the big one, net worth. Your net worth is simply everything you own minus everything you owe. So, add up all your assets like cash, savings, investments, and even the value of your car, and then subtract your debts like student loans, credit cards, or car loans. So, a popular rule of thumb is to have a net worth equal to your annual salary by the time you hit age 30. So if you're earning $60,000 a year, the target is to have $60,000 net worth by your 30th birthday. That number might sound intimidating, especially since the actual median savings for households under 35 is much lower. But think of it as a powerful goalpost, not a guilt trip. And remember, this includes everything you've built towards your future. So, retirement accounts, savings, and investments, not just the cash sitting in your checking account. To get there, you need a target savings rate. As a financial expert, I recommend saving at least 15% of your take home pay. The trick is to make it automatic. Set up contributions to your retirement accounts so the money is working for you before you even have a chance to spend it. If your employer offers a 401k match, you must contribute enough to get the full amount. Not doing so is literally leaving free money on the table and you're going to regret it later. So, once that's covered, focus on building your emergency fund, your financial buffer when life inevitably is going to throw you curveballs. You don't need a huge amount right away. Start with like $500 and then work toward covering those 3 months of essential expenses. When that cushion's in place, shift your focus to maxing out your Roth IRA. That's where your money can really start working for you, growing tax free for your future. And finally, let's talk about debt. Your 20s are the time to be ruthless with that high interest debt. We're talking about credit cards, car payments, or personal loans with interest rates of 6% or higher. This kind of debt is a financial anchor, and paying it off provides you guaranteed return on your money. Think about it, paying off a credit card with 20% APR is like earning 20% return on your investment. You can't beat that anywhere else. And better yet, spending your 20s focusing on not taking out any debt at all. I get it. Student loans are what they are, but put in that good habit of not just racking up that credit card bill. Your 20s are all about creating habits. Automate your savings, build that starter emergency fund, kill the high interest debt, and start investing for the long term. If you do these things, you won't just hit your net worth goal, you're going to set yourself up for a lifetime of financial success. All right, so welcome to your 30s. For many, this is the decade where your career finds its footing and your income starts to climb. But with more money comes more temptation. This is when the silent killer of wealth, the lifestyle creep, really starts to sneak in. Your friends are buying bigger houses, driving nicer cars, and taking fancier vacations, and the pressure to keep up is immense. But your 30s aren't about spending more, they're dramatically accelerating your wealth building. So let's take a look at the cold, hard numbers. By age 35, a good benchmark is to have a net worth of 1.5 to 2 times your annual salary. By the time you hit 40, you should be aiming for 3 times your annual salary. So if your household income is now $80,000, your goal is to have a net worth of $240,000 by your 40th birthday. This is where the magic of compounding that you started in your 20s really starts to pick up steam. So, to hit this more aggressive target, you're going to need to ramp up your savings rate. The goal in your 30s is to save and invest 20% of your gross income. This might take some real sacrifice, but it's also about being strategic. So, every time you get a raise, don't think about how to spend it, think about how to redirect it towards your investments. Now, here's where things get tricky. Your 30s can be the messy middle. You might be starting a family, buying a home, or facing higher childcare and healthcare costs. Those aren't lifestyle upgrades, that's just real life. So instead of fighting those changes, just plan for them. Build them into your budget and keep your long term goals front and center. Because while this stage might feel more expensive, staying consistent, even if you can't save as much for a while, matters far more than being perfect. Your emergency fund should also be solid at this point. The goal is a full 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses tucked away in a high yield savings account. If you're in a single income household, you should aim for the higher end of that range. This isn't just about the unexpected bills anymore, it's about creating a buffer that can withstand a job loss without derailing your entire financial plan. Now, let's talk about debt again. While your 20s were about wiping out that high interest consumer debt and taking on as little as possible, your 30s are about cleaning the slate. The goal is to be completely debt free by 40, with the one potential exception of being your mortgage. That means car loans, student loans, and any lingering credit card balances are on the chopping block. Being debt free unleashes your income and allows you to pour gasoline on that investment fire. And finally, your 30s are when you need to think about the bigger picture. This means getting serious about protecting and growing your net worth and your family by creating a will and getting the adequate life insurance. These aren't just documents, they're acts of love, and they ensure that if the unthinkable happens, your family's protected and your assets go where you want them to go. It's a foundational piece of adulting that far too many people just put off. This decade is your prime opportunity to build serious momentum. By cranking up your savings rate, eliminating debt, and putting protections in place, you're not just growing your net worth, you're building a fortress of financial security. Okay, it's time for your 40s. Your 40s often represent your peak earning years. Your salary is likely the highest it will ever be. But ironically, this is also the decade of peak expenses. Between raising kids, upsizing your home, and starting to think about college, the financial pressures can feel immense. Retirement is no longer some far off idea, it's a destination that's maybe 20 years away. This is a decade to get laser focused. So, what are the milestones? The net worth targets get even more aggressive here. A common guideline is to have a net worth of 3 times your salary by age 45, growing to 4 or even 5 times your salary by age 50. If you're earning 100,000 a year, that means your target net worth should be a 4 to 500,000 dollars by the time you blow out those 50 candles. And yes, it's a big number, but remember, by now you have the powerful force of 2 decades of compound interest working for you. So to get there, your saving strategy needs to shift into high gear. The goal is to max out your tax advantage retirement accounts every single year. For 2025, that means putting $23,000 into your 401k. If you're feeling behind, this is the time to make sacrifices elsewhere to ensure you're capturing every penny of that tax deferred growth. And don't fall into the trap of prioritizing your kids' college savings over your own retirement. This might be controversial, but it's critical. Your children can get loans for school, but you cannot get a loan for your retirement. The focus on debt also shifts. With most, if not all, of your consumer debt gone, the big target is now your mortgage. The goal is to have a concrete plan to pay it down, ideally eliminating it entirely before you retire. Walking into retirement with no mortgage payment dramatically reduces the amount of income you're going to need from your investments. This is also the time to get serious about a comprehensive estate plan. A simple will might not be enough anymore. You should look into whether a trust makes sense for your situation to manage your assets and care for your dependents. This isn't just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who wants to ensure their legacy is handled smoothly. And finally, you need to start planning for one of the biggest expenses in retirement: healthcare. If you have access to a health savings account or HSA, you should be maxing that out. An HSA is a triple tax advantaged account. The money goes in tax free, grows tax free, and can be withdrawn tax free for qualified medical expenses. Just know that the tax free withdrawals are for medical costs. And if you take money out for other reasons before age 65, you're going to owe taxes and a penalty. So just avoid it. Your 40s are about leveraging your peak income to make massive strides. It's about maxing out your savings, planning to eliminate your mortgage, and thinking strategically about taxes, your estate, and future health costs. The work you do in this decade will largely determine the quality of your retirement. So, looking at these numbers, if you feel like you're behind, don't panic. The purpose of these benchmarks isn't to judge you, it's to give you a map. It's to show you where you are and, more importantly, where you need to go. The most important number isn't how you compare to someone else, it's whether your own net worth is consistently growing because you're making intentional choices. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistency over perfection. The person who automates their 15% savings rate every single month without fail will almost always end up in a better position than the person who tries to time the market or find some secret crypto strategy. So, focus on the fundamentals, spend less than you earn, save and invest consistently, destroy that high interest debt, and protect yourself and your family. If you can build your life around those principles, you're going to hit these milestones and you'll finally know without a doubt that you are winning with your money. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.